At the end of World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, America emerged as the most powerful nation on Earth. The dollar became the world's reserve currency, and one American bank climbed to the very pinnacle of global finance, Bank of America. The dollar now dominated every other currency on the planet. American banking had seized control of the world's financial system. Bank of America stood at the very center of it all, serving over 68 million customers across the United States and beyond. Behind this extraordinary banking empire was an unlikely figure, an Italian immigrant named Amedeo Giannini, a man who started with nothing, built the world's largest bank, and changed the way ordinary people think about money forever. Amedeo's childhood was spent on a California farm. His father Luigi had arrived during the gold rush. He built a successful business through sheer hard work, buying properties and hotels and renting them out to fellow Italian immigrants. Luigi invested all his savings into building a Swiss hotel that served Italian day laborers. After selling it successfully, he purchased 40 acres of land in Alviso. The family was thriving, and the future looked bright. But Amedeo's peaceful childhood was shattered in an instant. At just 7 years old, he watched his father Luigi get shot dead. This happened during a bitter labor dispute on the farm. This tragedy would shape every decision he made for the rest of his life. After his father's death, his widowed mother Virginia stepped up to run the farm. Young Amedeo rose before dawn every single day to help her sell produce at the market. Poverty taught him discipline, resilience, and the true value of hard work. It was at the produce market that Virginia met Lorenzo Scatina, a gentle and warm-hearted Italian immigrant. The two grew close, and her children came to love him dearly, calling him Pop or Boss. A new family was slowly taking shape. By the age of just 14, Amedeo was already managing the logistics of the family's entire grocery business. He sourced oranges from Southern California and shipped them to San Francisco. Skills he had taught himself through pure determination and observation. At 21, Amedeo took full control of the family business and transformed it into an operation generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He worked more than 18 hours a day, often skipping lunch, which he considered a waste of precious time. Then at 31, at the very height of his success, Giannini did something that shocked everyone around him. He walked away from the grocery business entirely. He was ready for a new challenge, and banking was calling his name. Early 20th century San Francisco was booming. Shipyards, manufacturing plants, and new neighborhoods were springing up everywhere. Giannini recognized that real estate and banking sat at the heart of this explosive economic growth. Fortune opened a door when his father-in-law passed away and left his entire inheritance, including real estate holdings and bank stocks, not to his own sons, but to Giannini. It was the ultimate expression of trust and respect. But as soon as Giannini got inside the banking world, he saw the ugly truth. Banks were corrupt and they ignored the poor, including his own Italian immigrant community. If he wanted real change, he would have to build something completely new from scratch. In 1904, in the heart of San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood, Giannini founded the Bank of Italy. This bank was created specifically for Italian immigrants who could barely speak English and had been turned away by every other financial institution in the city. Giannini did what no banker had ever done before. He walked out onto the street, met working-class immigrants face-to-face, and gave them loans based on nothing more than a handshake and personal trust. People finally had a banker who believed in them. Within less than 2 years of opening, the Bank of Italy had amassed over $1 million in capital. The community had rallied around it completely. Trust, not advertising, had built this remarkable early success story. But nature had other plans. Before dawn on April 18, 1906, the ground beneath San Francisco began to shake violently. The Great San Francisco earthquake had arrived, and it would test Giannini's character in ways he never could have imagined. The earthquake struck along the San Andreas Fault and tore the city apart. Wooden buildings collapsed like paper, streets cracked open, and thousands were left homeless in minutes. But the worst was still to come. The fires that followed consumed everything the earthquake had left standing. Uncontrolled fires spread through block after block of the city, reducing entire neighborhoods to ash. What the earthquake had not destroyed, the flames swallowed whole. San Francisco was burning, and there was almost nothing anyone could do to stop it. Giannini acted with lightning speed. Before the fire could reach his bank vault, he and his stepfather loaded every dollar, every gold coin, and every silver piece on 2 horse-drawn wagons, cleverly hidden beneath wooden crates of fruits and vegetables. They traveled through the night on a grueling journey from San Francisco to San Mateo. It was dangerous, exhausting, and nerve-wracking, but by morning, the bank's entire fortune had been safely moved to Giannini's home, hidden in plain sight under piles of produce. While every other bank in San Francisco closed its doors and declared itself unable to operate, Giannini set up a simple wooden desk on Washington Street and began serving earthquake survivors right there among the rubble. He refused to stop working. Giannini offered unsecured loans to anyone who came to him. No collateral required, no paperwork, no waiting. Just a handshake and a promise. In the middle of absolute devastation, he handed people the means to rebuild their shattered lives. After the earthquake, the Bank of Italy became the most trusted financial institution in the entire region. People lined up from miles around to deposit their savings with Giannini. He had turned a disaster into the greatest advertisement a bank could ever have. Genuine human care. During the panic of 1907, when crowds of terrified people stormed banks across the country demanding their money back, Giannini stood calm and steady at his door. His confidence steadied his customers, and the Bank of Italy came through the crisis without a scratch. Despite initial resistance, Giannini pushed into Los Angeles, bringing his inclusive and accessible banking model to a rapidly growing new city. Wherever working-class communities were being ignored by traditional banks, Giannini saw an opportunity to serve them. Branch by branch, city by city, the Bank of Italy spread across California like the roots of a great tree reaching deeper into the earth. Giannini's vision was bold. He wanted a branch of his bank in every city, in every town, across the entire nation. But one city remained, New York, the most prestigious, the most powerful, the most intimidating financial center in the world. Giannini knew that to truly build a banking empire, he had to break into Manhattan, no matter who stood in his way. And standing in his way was Jack Morgan, the most powerful banker on Wall Street. His father, the legendary J. Pierpont Morgan, had created the world's first billion-dollar company. Jack had inherited that empire and an iron grip on New York's financial world. Giannini moved boldly. He acquired a struggling mid-sized bank at 44 Wall Street and merged it with two other institutions to create the Bank of America National Association, instantly becoming the third largest bank in New York. The battle lines were drawn. The merger created a formidable new force on Wall Street virtually overnight. Three banks had become one powerful institution. Giannini had planted his flag deep in Morgan's territory, and everyone on Wall Street knew exactly what it meant. When Jack Morgan heard about Giannini's aggressive expansion into New York, he was furious. A West Coast outsider, the son of an immigrant farmer, was daring to challenge the king of Wall Street on his own ground. Morgan decided it was time to crush him. Morgan rallied other bankers and traders and launched a calculated smear campaign designed to destroy confidence in Giannini's bank stocks. He chose his moment carefully. Giannini had traveled to Europe to receive treatment for polyneuritis and was far from the battlefield. Within weeks, the shares of Giannini's banks plummeted sharply. Morgan's network had done its job. Investors panicked and sold. Giannini read the telegrams from his sickbed in Europe and knew exactly who was behind the attack, but he was not finished yet. Lying ill in Europe, weakened by polyneuritis, Giannini received telegram after telegram describing the collapse of his stock prices back home. Morgan had chosen his moment perfectly. But even from a hospital bed, Giannini was already planning his next move. Giannini's countermove was bold and strategic. He founded Transamerica Corporation, a powerful holding company designed to consolidate his entire banking empire under one roof, and provide a platform for even greater national expansion. The game was not over. Then on Black Tuesday, October 1929, the unthinkable happened. The New York Stock Exchange collapsed in one of the most catastrophic financial crashes in history. Stock values evaporated overnight, and the Great Depression began to tighten its grip on America. Bank runs broke out across the country. Desperate people lined up outside banks, begging to withdraw their savings before the institutions collapsed. Businesses failed, unemployment soared, and a new class of Americans, the newly poor, appeared almost overnight. Transamerica stock plunged along with everything else. In a desperate attempt to stabilize the market, Giannini made a rash decision. He personally bought all 230,000 shares that had been dumped on the San Francisco Stock Exchange. It was costly, and it did not work.